Sometimes you'll meet someone who appears to have everything you're looking for in a partner, and they check all the important boxes, and a little time passes and you realize they're not very good at being in a relationship, or there are some key differences between the two of you that cannot be overlooked, and it can be incredibly disappointing. And likely your mind is going to be flooded with all these scary thoughts about not wanting to get back out there again and having to start all over. But this is really where you have to release your attachment to the dream and move on. The truth and the reality about dating is that sometimes it takes time to see if someone is actually right for us. And we have to embrace the uncertainty of it all. There is no certainty in the dating process. It's an adventure and it has to be embraced. And the only thing that we can do is stay very true to ourselves, process our enthusiasm about someone with someone we trust, and have boundaries.
You all heard that directly from her. Women find a man that checks all the boxes, but then they find out they are not great at being in a relationship. Yeah, sister, men know exactly what you are talking about here. It basically falls into two categories, depending on the boxes women consider important. The first category is the 666 Chad/Tyrone boxes of him being 6 feet tall, making six figures, and having a six-pack, which women will find they have to share these men because there is an abundance of moist tacos out there craving their rare sour cream. The second category is when women say a guy ticks all the boxes because she settled. And not too long after that, they think they deserve better and need to level up, i.e. let go and return to the dating market and look for your soulmate. Mr. Right, the perfect guy who is actually right for you. And like she said, queens have got to stay true to themselves, aka find your own truth, girl. And before any of you ladies come after me by saying she didn't state this specifically for women, let me point out the obvious. A, women overwhelmingly are the ones who initiate breakups in an attempt to find themselves. And B, men don't find her advice remotely relatable.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Moving on.
If you notice, men never settle. They never settle. When you go to acting crazy, when you go to acting a fool, when you go to asking for too much, when you go to doing too much, any little thing, a man will be up out of there. Men don't settle, and that's smart on their behalf. But women need to learn to stop settling. And the only way you're going to learn to not settle is to master your emotions. You got to move just like a man or you're going to lose. Men will get the on in 2.5, and in their mind they know they got options. I don't know why women have in their head, oh my God, I'm this, oh my God, I'm fat, oh my God, I'm old, oh my God, I'm this, oh my God, I'm that. They put all of these scenarios in their head. Men don't move like that. They always know they got options, and that is how I want women to start moving. You do. You have a lot of options as a woman. You have so many options. So stop limiting yourself, because men don't settle. So therefore, you don't ever settle in your life.
Women need to learn to stop settling. Really, Queen? Was that supposed to be a joke? With all that, I deserve better, I need to find myself 70% plus divorce rate women do, and you think women are settling? I would say women show a hint of delusion when they break up their families and get back on the carousel, dragging their kids along. Don't get me wrong, as I have said in previous audits, if you are in an actual abusive relationship, then get out. But ladies, the bulk of you masterfully put a guy who tells you not to spend your combined savings on some dream vacation with another guy who gives a woman a black eye every other month. Oh, you don't agree with that? Okay, tell us all in the comments about this amazing category you came up with called emotional abuse. I mean, I may be in the wrong here, but abuse where you have some deep psychological trauma because of something in the league of you witnessing an event that cost someone their life, being put on the same level with your ex once said, oh, one time he called me dumb, or he told me he can get someone better, or he didn't want me going out on a girls' night, or he told me to eat better because he wants someone that takes better care of themselves. That just doesn't seem like they are remotely equal. No way are they on the same footing, especially when men who have been married will attest to women dishing out just as much as they get when it comes to verbal arguments.
Yes, I am so sorry. You don't even know how sorry I am. I'm just being honest.
Moving on.
Take this piece of advice from me, okay? Because I have spent a long time in my life, like, overanalyzing the way a man feels about me, like men from my past. There is no man, like in his right mind, that when he genuinely wants you and he genuinely likes you, he will let you feel confused. I have learned through trial and error in my life that men are just like very simple creatures when it comes to going after what they want. And if you're confused or you're uncertain or you're unsure and you're getting mixed signals from a guy, like, I'm saying this because I love you, like, girl, you are just part of the roster. And this is also why I really think that, like, if you're young, you really shouldn't be if you're dating, you shouldn't be just dating one person at a time, because that's like putting all of your power and all of your eggs in one basket, and then that leaves you getting heartbroken over some guy you knew for 3 weeks. And if you're confused, then you're probably like, yeah, he could think you're cute, he could be into you, but like, he's not someone that wants to pursue you all the way. Instead of like being self-conscious about that and just like wasting your time on this man that hasn't shown up for you the way that you want him to, you can just learn to walk away.
Tell us all you were on Chad/Tyrone's roster without telling us. Now, this young queen is giving out good advice. I admit that as in get off the roster. Unfortunately, most experienced men will say she is giving out advice she probably is not going to follow. Do I have to say why?
How come? Tell me why! Say it! Say it!
It's because no matter how much social conditioning women want to throw around, they can't dictate attraction. Come on, who are you trying to kid here? When women are young, free, and living their best life, do you actually think we are going to believe you are going to totally cut off all the bad boys for Mr. Boring Nice Guy? Please, there's a reason you were on the roster to begin with. And that's because all the traits Mr. Average Nice Guy has to offer, you consider gentle, sweet, and it makes you drier than the Mojave Desert. This isn't me complaining, this is me acknowledging reality. I mean, there is a reason the term hot girl summer exists, right? And after young women are done with their fun is when they decide to settle down. Now, there are some young women who wise up and marry a nice guy early, but that is a minority. Let's hear what else this former roster rep has to say on the matter.
Because at the end of the day, like, dating when you're young is just like all about establishing like a filter system and just saying, okay, this isn't right for me. This guy's not right for me. He's not treating me the way I want. He's not consistent the way I want. Okay, thank you, next. If you're confused, he's just not your guy. And instead of overanalyzing his actions and trying to like make yourself feel better about your ego being hurt, that like you're not chosen by him, you can just decide with yourself that like, okay, he didn't choose me, but that doesn't say anything because I choose myself. And you just keep working on yourself and you don't waste your time. It's something that you have to realize as a woman, your time and your energy is precious, and that's your power. And if you waste it on dusty men, it's like they're sucking the life out of you. You can't give them your power like that. So if you're confused, just walk away. It's that simple. Just keep walking forward. Every single time that like you waste your time and just slither and overanalyze things that you know are really not right for you, you're just delaying what's meant for you to come in. So cut yourself the slack and just learn to walk away when you're confused or when you feel like you're finally, like, do not settle for something basically just because it's convenient, because it's just not worth it.
When you're young is when you develop your dating filter. It's almost sad. This is what the West has fallen to. You know, in an era long ago, fathers and older brothers were essential for young women to date. They were the filter you didn't have to develop to get you women to a good guy who would take care of you. No carousel ride devaluing required. But hey, you queens got your intimacy liberation, and I have heard from more than one woman that the ones who benefited the most from that liberation are the players.
Damn, skip me.
Here's a valid question for you strong, independent women. If you are giving up your taco to, quote, dusty men, what does that say about you? I mean, what is it about you that attracts and falls for dusties?
Now that's a lot of damage!
I mean, if you're confused, whose fault is that exactly? The bad boy who cracked your taco, or you who gave consent to it because Mr. Average is boring, corny, and generally not hot? Listen, I understand completely being too inexperienced to be able to filter out something that's not going to end well. But don't women constantly claim men mature at a slower rate? If that's true, you should totally be running rings around those players, right?
How about new?
Moving on.
This message is for all of my ladies out there. There will be a time in every woman's life, at least in the US, where you're going to wake up to the fact that you've been sold an absolute lie. And this time will likely occur after you have your first child or as you're approaching the age of 40. The closer you get, the closer you come to this realization. Why? It's because after you have your first child and when you get older, all of a sudden you enter a different bracket of society. You come from being a maiden who is really enjoying life and out there doing creative things, pursuing your career, getting your education, all the things that are valuable, right? To being someone who's absolutely forgotten by society. After I had my first kid, I realized that even though I had spent years planning for this decision, I knew that I would always have kids. And so I became an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade. And so even with the planning, and I have an amazing, gracious husband, partner, who also helps me. Regardless of that, I am still amazed at the zero level of support that I am given and that all my fellow moms out there are given.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Say what now? Seriously, Colleen? Did she seriously just claim that as a mother, she has zero support right after saying her husband supports her? Oh, the mountain has come to Mohammed with this one. How desperate do you have to be in trying to paint yourself like a victim? She has her own business and still can use several other programs in the US that would help her if she was a struggling single mom. Ladies, have you ever heard of, the Women, Infants, and Children Program, aka WIC? Or how about the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Program, aka TANF? Or how about Section 8 Housing Program? Let me post a snapshot of the Google search results I did for Program Assistance for Single Mothers. And these are just for the state of Florida. And there are over 20.
Impossible.
Not to mention child support that is enforced by the state. FYI, I did the exact same search for fathers, and the only program that came up was the Comprehensive Needs of Fathers Grant. Fact check me with your own independent Google search, please. Sister, I suggest you check yourself before you wreck yourself.
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Ladies, look, I am not saying being a single mother is a walk in the park. I am saying that to claim there is zero help for consequences of your own decisions is about as real as the last image filter you downloaded to your phone. And before any of you cry about your baby daddy doesn't always pay child support, remember these two things. 1, you chose him. That's on you. 2, go back to the list I posted. There's plenty of other help for you.
Yeah, boy.
Because even though society says being a mom is one of the most important things that you can do, we cherish mothers. We cherish babies' lives. You will learn that that is all fake. You will learn that there is almost zero support for your mental, emotional, physical health. Okay, cool. You will learn that early childhood daycare for those women who want to return back to the workforce, to their careers that they spend most of their young years building, or their businesses that they spend many years building. You'll find that early childhood daycare is basically unaffordable and not very good. Not very good. And I won't even mention the other dangers out there, which you all know of. And so what do we do, ladies? You get angry, you get upset, but you get even. And this is what came so profoundly to me. We are the more powerful gender. We are the more powerful half of the whole. Without us, they ain't nothing. And if you're interested, because TikTok only gives me 3 minutes now, I will leave another video of how we're getting even, because it's our time to rise. We need to help each other.
Wait a minute. She literally is complaining about the difficulties of her own decisions? Ladies, seriously, do you think this is or should be a top priority when our society has a homeless population that is over 60% male and an unaliving oneself male rate that is 4 times higher than the female rate? And she wants to talk about the situation of being a single mother with 20 plus programs helping her is equal to having a hard time with her mental/emotional support? Ladies, do not take these statistical facts I just stated, links in the description by the way, as an attack on single mothers. Nope, it's an acknowledgement of which social issues actually have far less assistance than single motherhood with real-life drastic consequences. Look at it this way. The U.S. is considered to be a first world country. As the saying goes, land of the free because of the brave. So ladies, tell me and every one of my viewers, how exactly can this woman make a video claiming that single mothers are the forgotten ones in this country when currently there are 33,000 plus homeless veterans, over 89% of them are male, with only one government program and a handful of charities doing a small part of work on their end, offering them any type of help. And all this queen can talk about in her rant is about getting even as if she was wronged for her own choices of being a mother? That doesn't sound like a victim. That sounds like a person who wants to do harm. And for the veterans out there watching my videos, a sincere thank you for your service. I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.